The Great American Tourism. Slowdown, how 2025 redefined global travel. The world's busiest airports hum with engines and echoes of departures. But across the United States, the rhythm has changed. From the post-pandemic boom of 2023 to the sharp downturn of 2025, America's tourism engine has begun to sputter. International arrivals are falling, spending is shrinking by billions, and for the first time in years, the welcome mat at U.S. borders feels worn and frayed. Once Canada filled hotels and highways across the northern states, now that flow is slowing. Visa fees have climbed, the ESTA charge has doubled, and a federal shutdown has frozen parks and museums, turning curiosity into caution. Airports aren't empty, but the chill is unmistakable. The money, and the momentum, are rerouting. Why are travelers now choosing Toronto, Dubai, and Singapore instead of New York or Los Angeles? And what could turn the tide by 2026? Act 1. The sudden stall. Late in 2024, optimism filled the air. Analysts predicted a 9% surge in international arrivals. Hotels, airlines, and attractions geared up for a comeback year. Then, the reversal. By mid-2025, projections collapsed into an 8% decline. Entry rules tightened. Travel costs soared, and global sentiment shifted. Tourism economics now estimates a $12.5 billion shortfall, from $181 billion in 2024 to just under $169 billion in 2025. Fewer overseas visitors means quieter airports, thinner car rental margins, and fewer premium tours, especially in high-yield coastal hubs where foreign travelers spend nearly twice as much as domestic ones. It isn't a crash, but a costly downshift. And behind it, Canada's changing travel habits tell a deeper story. Act 2. Canada hits the brakes for border towns. From Seattle's hotels to Buffalo's restaurants, Canadian travelers are lifeblood. But in 2025, that current reversed. For the first time in decades, more Americans drove north than Canadians drove south. Why? Because crossing the line became expensive and uncertain. The ESTA fee jumped from $21 to $40. A new $250 visa integrity fee hit non-immigrant applicants. Add soaring airfares and hotel prices, and the message was clear: travel south at your own cost. Media headlines turned bureaucratic friction into viral caution. A trip once seen as simple leisure now felt like red tape and risk. Even a 5 to 10% drop in high-spending travelers meant millions lost in border city economies. From rental fleets to fine dining and ticketed attractions, it's not collapse, it's erosion, slow, visible, and spreading. Act 3. Shutdowns and shattered itineraries. Then came the shutdown, a policy freeze that collided head-on with tourism. Air traffic controllers and TSA officers kept working, unpaid. Morale dipped, delays rose, national parks went half-dark, visitor centers shuttered. Trails stayed open, but landmarks like the Liberty Bell Pavilion closed entirely. By October, even the Smithsonian was running on leftover funds. Tourists from abroad, meticulous planners on tight itineraries, saw the headlines and canceled. Airports didn't empty overnight, but the international lanes thinned. Duty-free counters went quiet. Luxury ground transport idled. No single disaster, just a chain of small frictions that together froze the flow. Act 4. The new winners: Toronto, Dubai, and Singapore. While the U.S. struggled with paperwork and policy gridlock, other hubs moved fast. Toronto and Vancouver caught the spillover. Canadians kept their vacations close to home. Across the ocean, Dubai, Singapore, Doha, and Istanbul advertised something America no longer could: ease. Seamless transits, visa-free corridors, predictable processing. Travelers chasing simplicity rerouted through these friction-free gateways, and airlines followed. When U.S. demand weakened, wide-body jets were reassigned to cities where confidence remained steady. Ironically, global aviation hit record highs, with U.S. carriers posting a post-COVID revenue peak of $1 trillion. The paradox was clear: strong airlines, weak inbound tourism, because domestic demand stayed firm, while the world's travelers simply flew elsewhere. Act 5. Tariffs, supply chains, and the 2026 reset. But beneath the airports and itineraries, a bigger current was shifting. Tariffs, supply chains, and the politics of production. Mid-2025 brought sweeping new tariffs, a shockwave through aviation logistics. Aircraft parts, cross-border repairs, long-term contracts, all tangled in uncertainty. North America's aerospace web, once seamless, suddenly felt fragile. Tariffs didn't bring jobs home, they brought costs up. So airlines grew cautious. They delayed expansion, rerouted cargo, and hedged their bets. The outlook, though, brightens in 2026. A global spotlight is returning to the US, with the FIFA World Cup, America's 250th anniversary, and the long runway toward the LA Olympics. Mega events like these don't just attract visitors, they force upgrades, faster biometric queues, simpler fees, smoother entries. If Washington can steady its tariffs, visas, and airport systems, the rebound could be sudden and strong, because international leisure demand is elastic. Once friction fades, curiosity floods back. Final approach, from headwinds to tailwinds. No, America's airports aren't ghost towns, but the premium lanes, the ones that drive revenue and reputation, have downshifted. Spending is down $12.5 billion. Canadian travel has cooled. Fees have risen. Shutdowns and tariffs have tangled the skies. Meanwhile, Toronto, Dubai, and Singapore are quietly writing the new rulebook of global travel, offering smooth, stable, and predictable journeys. Yet on the horizon, 2026 glimmers with possibility. A patriotic travel wave, World Cup crowds, an anniversary celebration 2.5 centuries in the making. If policymakers cut friction and airports rebuild reliability, the United States can pivot from turbulence to takeoff, because in travel, as in flight, headwinds don't last forever, they only prepare the runway for the next ascent. You've been watching GeoScope, where we decode the forces shaping our connected world. Will travelers return once the skies clear, or will the new global hubs keep their crown? Share your thoughts below, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the shifting gears of global trade, travel, and transformation.